a little bit? Okay.
Not at all.
Not at all. All right, great. 1 second, there's someone trying to get in. All right, I'm going to share my screen. So Padlet is a great tool to get some class collaboration going. It doesn't require your students to have an account. They can just, you're going to make the Padlet and then they can contribute to it. All right, let me share my screen. So when you go to Padlet, you just make an account. There is a limit to the number of Padlets you can have in a basic account. Let's see how many I'm allowed to have in my basic account. My basic account, I can have, I've used 5 of 3, apparently. You get 3, which isn't very many. This may be something you want to ask your school to get an account of. They can basically have unlimited teachers, and it's $1,400 for a year, which is pretty cheap. And then you can have unlimited Padlets, which is great. So when you log in, you'll see this page. You won't see manage people. You'll just see make a Padlet, join a Padlet, or gallery. Gallery is like their collection of Padlets that are like exemplary or inspirational. And so you can go there and you can look at some different topics that you could create or copy. But we're just going to focus today on starting from scratch. So to make a Padlet, it's very easy. You just say make a Padlet. And you have a choice of different types of layouts. So you can make a wall, a canvas where things don't have to necessarily, you can kind of order things how you want them, just a stream. I like using the shelf a lot. I'll show you that one. I like it because you can kind of make different categories of things that students could then contribute to. So this one, all right, I'll just say next for now. Start posting. This one you can make your column headings. So for instance, I taught environmental science. So let's say I wanted causes of climate change, save, and then I add another column, effects of climate change. I could say human impacts. Yeah, so I could have 3 categories that then the students could add their response to under one of those categories. So I like that one a lot because it's just a little more organized. It kind of really gives students a direction of what you're asking for. And then another one that's fun, and this could be a really great get to know you activity at the beginning of the year, is the map. So you could do a where are you born from map, just like as a get to know you activity. It could be fun. And so we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to call this birthplaces. All right, and I'm going to say, cool. I'm going to copy the link. That's the one. The link is how you can share it, just by sharing a link. So you can copy that. I'm going to say next. I can, if I want to, I can get fancy and I can edit that link. So I can say fielding. I could put like period 1. And then it would just be easier to find. So that could be like my period 1 board. All right, so I can start posting and we're gonna say Little Rock, Arkansas, that's where I was born. So it's gonna take me there. I'm gonna say, and put my name. All right, maybe I put my baby picture on it too, like we're doing a class get to know you, that could be fun. And now I wanna share it with you. And I'm gonna go here to just get the link for it. I have it set to private right now. So I need to change privacy, and what you would normally do is secret. So you can also set it so that they have to have a password for it. I haven't found that extremely necessary, but you can do that. And so I'm going to give it also writing privileges, so you can post on it. And I will save. So you want it to be secret, and so they can write on it. So we'll save that. And back. And now I'm going to give you the link. Copy it, and I'll put it in the chat, and then you guys can go and add your birthplaces. And to add your birthplace, you'll just click that pink plus sign in the top corner, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I see another person popping their pin on. I can click on it. Let's see, College Park, Brooklyn. Who's from Brooklyn? Oh, Williamsburg.
Yeah, Williamsburg is in Brooklyn.
Yeah, my grandma's from Crown Heights.
Oh, okay.
Lewiston, Maine, nice. Utica, cool. All right, so you can see how easy it is for you guys to contribute. You didn't have to make an account. You just had to click on a link and you had to add. Any questions about that?
So I do have a question, because I have this box, but how do I get rid of it?
What box?
I don't know. My screen says Brooklyn, New York, and then I typed in Williamsburg. Do I hit enter and get rid of it?
Yeah, you can hit enter, and then you'll see in the bottom right corner a little minus sign. You can then zoom out.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Leanne, did you have a question? I can't hear you. You're muted. Okay, well, I'll just then show you the other thing that you can do. You'll also see that it says that you can get that embed code. So you can embed that into your blog or your website. So here I can click on it, and it will just click this copy button. And then I can go over to Canvas on a page in that rich content editor. And of course, every time we embed, we go to that back side, that hidden side. So I click that little embed code. Remember, that toolbar goes away. Okay, I can paste the code. And when I go back, my Padlet will be there. So I can put this directly in Canvas, and students can do it right there in the Canvas screen. So they don't have to go to that link. You can just share it with them this way. And they can click the button, the pink button.
Catherine, can we do an assignment, the same thing with Padlet?
No, not an LTI assignment, not unless your school buys the school license. So this would just be more of an informal, informative activity. It's really good for doing brainstorming. Yeah, think of all the ways you can use it. But yeah, so students can just be right here in the screen. They can add to it right here. They don't have to go anywhere. So yeah, this is just a good tool to have in your toolbox for brainstorming. There was a lot of people that wanted to do like digital choice boards. And this is a great option for digital choice boards. You could make the Padlet, you could put all the things on it, and then have students pick that, the different choices. So you can make a Padlet that's, make it a wall, and you can turn off you can lock it so that they can't contribute. It could just be something you put on the page for them to choose things from. So it doesn't always have to be something they do. It could just be a resource, because then it's accessible.
You could use it like a question board, like I guess,
yeah,
like sticky notes on your
the parking lot.
Parking lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the great thing. Okay, and so that that, that one that you guys did was something. So if I click this and I want to add to it, look at all the ways that students can contribute. So they can upload a file, they can put a link, they can find an image on Google Images, they can take a photo of themselves, they can, you know, do a video of themselves with their camera on their device. They can record audio, so you could do podcasting this way, recording their screen. So it's not just that they can type in the box, they can do all of these types of things. So they can give responses in all of those mediums. Any questions?
How did you get that? How did you get that little menu to show up right there? Did you just
Yeah, so I click the 3 dots right there in the bottom of the corner. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it gives me all of those. But the main things you need to remember is on the sharing, you want to make sure it is secret and that you give them right access. Or if you're going to do like the digital choice board, you just want to make it secret and they can only read it. You know, if you want to make one of these, but you don't want them to manipulate it, you choose read only for them. So the sharing settings are where it's important.
So the secret is that their names aren't posted, because I've used it lots of times, but I
Yeah.
had a small group and it has their names, you know, like when they post something.
Right, they're not supposed to make accounts, only teachers are, is the PWCS rule.
You know what I did? I think when I have it, because I have one up, that I asked them, because I
To put
wanted
their
to know,
name.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
title, where the title
Yeah.
was.
And so that's what I would recommend, is put your name in the title and then have their response. Yeah. So yeah, secret, and then whatever level of editing you want to give them. So, I mean, if it's like, you know, certain kids, maybe you want them to edit the whole thing and you want to give them rights to the board. You want that to become theirs. They could have those editing rights. Maybe if it's a project, you make a board for each kid, depending on how many boards you have. The other hack around only having 3 boards is to just make a lot of accounts.
I don't know if anybody had an account before they changed it, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Because they told us, somebody, I don't know who told us, maybe it was an IT person, told us, make a bunch of Padlets, because if you had a bunch, they wouldn't be deleted.
Right. Yep. Exactly. But if you're coming in new and you only have 3, then maybe, you know, make an account with your work address, make an account with your personal address. I don't know, but
Your child's
child's address. Yeah. Just make some accounts. Yeah. That's what I would recommend. Leanne, did you finally figure out what you wanted to? Can't hear you. Do you want to share your screen and maybe show us what you're having trouble with?
So there's only the free account and the school account. There's no,
Yeah.
you can't purchase one. No.
Yeah, I think maybe you can. Let's see, Padlet Pricing. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably an upgraded account that's just not a school account. Pricing. Let's see. Of course, Padlet has a Padlet about price. Padlet Vanilla is always free. Free. Okay. Backpack for schools, briefcase for companies. So a teacher plan is $12 a month or $99 a year. So yeah. So that you could get unlimited Padlets for $99 a year. But like I said, the school plan is $14.99. So if you had, you know, 15 teachers that wanted it, then that would be worth it. Yeah. And then it'd get all your other teachers in for free.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it's a very inexpensive option to make Canvas pretty interactive. Another just way to keep them in Canvas. Yeah. So Leanne, what did you say? You said you used it a little differently. You set up each step for the kids to do. My Padlet was free. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So there's lots of ways, lots of ideas you can do with it. I definitely would check out that gallery, but it's a really, I hopefully think you think it's a easy tool to just set up and use. There's not very many steps.
Yep.
Cheryl, what do you think?
So I've been spending a lot of time this week watching Nearpod training. They got this Nearpod Camp Engage or something.
Yeah.
But our school doesn't have Nearpod.
Mm.
So I'm like, I'm a little frustrated. So I'm thinking, well, so comparison, there's no comparison, but Padlet would be something cheap that you could add in that would be a little something, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's
How does it
$99. I think how much is a Nearpod teacher account? It's one.
It's like, yeah, like $129. I was thinking.
Yeah, so I
it'd
think
be
if you're
better.
gonna, that's probably a better investment.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, because you can do this kind of thing a little bit in Nearpod. Doesn't have all of the board options, but you can do like the parking space, post-it, collaboration.
Yeah,
in
because it's got the bulletin board
Yeah.
feature. Seems like it's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And then you can
The
use
students just can't add all those types of responses.
Is it correct though? Because when I talked to Nearpod, they had told me that a teacher account wouldn't allow me to integrate it.
Correct.
Okay, so it would just be the same kind of thing as Padlet, where you're not integrating it, you're just posting it for them to.
Right. The teacher account will allow you to do a self-paced lesson, which you can embed onto the page just like the Padlet, and they can do it on their own time, but it doesn't sync with the speed grader.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I would, reach out to your school and say, hey, this is something we really need. If you think you need an Nearpod, it's $3,500 for a school license.
So let me ask you, because I do teach 4th and 5th graders, and I have to monitor what they type in. And I know that Nearpod allows you to view the post before you actually make it available to everybody else. If we embed this in Canvas to have sort of like a discussion, right? How do I prevent that? There's no way to what they type in while they do this on their own.
Let me see. Yeah, you can moderate posts.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I've never done it, but apparently you can. Let's see.
I know that you could in a live lesson, but if I put it in Canvas as sort of like a discussion without discussion.
You would still, if it's moderate, because you're just embedding it in Canvas. So it's just like it's outside of Canvas. It just happens to live in like that page.
Okay.
So let's see. Require approval. Yeah, so you would just turn that on. So that's on like the very first page. When you make one, it's require approval. And you can also filter for profanity. So you can turn those things on, and then, you would have to come to the board and check it, and before other students would see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then you can also allow students to respond to each other. So you can turn on commenting, so a student can respond to a student's post, which can be good. And you can also do reactions, so kids can like posts, vote them. So you can turn those features on, but you don't have to use those. Depending on the usage of the Padlet you're making, you may or may not want that.
Yeah.
And also the level of maturity of your students, you may not want that. So that's definitely something, you know your kids, or you will at least after a couple weeks, and then you'll be able to gauge if some of those tools are something that's useful for you.
Okay.
But you can also, just so this is looks like an ugly brown carpet, but you can change the wallpaper on a Padlet, so it can be a solid color, but you can also add your own. So if you made like a graphic in Canva, you could upload an image to be that background. So you can really customize them pretty nice. You can't do that on the Nearpod parking lot thing. So yeah, if you were doing like a sea theme, you could make like an underwater scene image, or just find one in a background, a wallpaper, and upload it. So really, yeah, because there's only like there's some cool ones, but if you can get really specific. If you're talking about elephants, maybe you want an elephant background, or you're talking about, Mount Vernon, you want a picture of Mount Vernon. So you could really get specific with that. You can change the color theme to light mode or dark mode. You can change the fonts. So you can customize the appearance of it. And then it's ready, you can start posting, and then you can either share it, which is the share link, or if you need to modify some of those things that you just set, you just click the gear and you modify those settings for that Padlet. And sharing is where you'll get the link to share it and just change those privacy settings. So, oh. And then you can also see that there is add members. So if you had a colleague that was using Padlet, you could add them to it. That's an option. But mostly you're just going to use the copied link and the embed code. What was?
I was going to ask, when you share it with your colleagues, is so that they could use that same setup? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you can also see these are the ways you can download it after it's done if you wanted to. You could save it as an image or PDF or a spreadsheet even. So getting every student's responses might be some way easier to grade it at the end.
I like that.
Am I able to share my screen?
Yeah, let me stop sharing. Let's see, let me allow you to share. All right, you should be good now.
I just wanted to see that I've used it for different grade levels, but in different areas, like for math. I've always used it though, like what you said with the bookshelf.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this was first grade where they had to read a problem and then show. I mean, they have to demonstrate or show how a word problem was, but it could be also in fourth grade, like making predictions. But it's always like that bookshelf where they have to add their things. I'm wondering if anybody, and then this one was second grade habitats where they could either post a picture, or also when second graders type, it kind of, when they Googled something, it kind of looked it up and gave them
some words.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if anybody else has an idea of, other than, because I always just use the same one, bookshelf, if anybody else had an idea other than bookshelf.
I'm gonna bring up the different options, and so everyone can kind of look at them and think, maybe brainstorm a bit. Let's see. So I'm gonna make one.
So when you gave them that bookshelf thing, you just told them they all had to fill out something under each of the categories?
Yeah,
and then you
so
gave them a directions like on an assignment page or something?
But it was, when I was doing it, it was in person. All of those were in person that I asked them to, but it was the same directions of, here's 5 different word problems. You have to answer each word problem and demonstrate, or here's 5 different habitats and you have to show me either by drawing or uploading a picture. So the students it wasn't during the virtual time.
So in Canvas, then you would probably have to put that like as make the directions in an assignment and then have a link there, but you wouldn't be able to directly grade it in Canvas, but you could transfer the grades back to Canvas. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And
unless your school buys the backpack, which there is LTI integration for that.
Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
Yay. I did this in the spring when I did use the shelf, but I had it set up like for, this was fiction, this was nonfiction, this was your writing assignment, this was your word of the day. So I had like the whole, how the classroom would go through. And my kids, I didn't allow my kids to write in anything because they had their 365 account. So they had to send me all of their work, but all of the directions and everything that I wanted to do was right there in my Padlet.
Yeah, and so you could definitely keep those that you're using and then just embed that onto the assignment in Canvas. And that's already, if you already did that work, you can just use that right in there. Another idea I just had was like this back channel one where it's like a chat. You could put this at the bottom of each assignment, and if kids had a question about that assignment, instead of going to like a separate discussion board, they could just post their questions right there. That way all their classmates can see your response, and that might be helpful, like additional thing on the assignment page.
that just made me think of during another training, it was talking about, I was doing a training on groups and collaboration in Canvas. And they were saying, well, when you have a group and if they're working together in a group, there's not really a chat. That made me think of maybe adding that back channel as a chat for then that group to be chatting while they're working and collaborating.
Yeah, it's definitely a good option. And then timeline, obviously that lends itself well to social studies or any cultural study in a foreign language class that could be used as a project, like make a timeline as a group, like here, your group has this time or event and this time.
So you could add, so you would have the same assignment, but you would have 2 different links in that assignment, and you would just have those links like linked to a Word or something like that.
Yeah, or I would just embed this actually in the assignment.
If you did 2 at once, would they go on the same assignment?
Yeah, you can embed, you could just put a space between them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheryl, I was also thinking when you when you asked about having it like you said asynchronous, like if they were just doing it asynchronous, I was thinking about doing it synchronous, like if I was with a reading group and we had just read they were supposed to have read something, just like the way that we did it here where we posted on, did we do it here? Did we post something on your, yeah, you gave us a link. And so I was thinking about doing it synchronous, like if we were discussing something of a book and then saying, like descriptions of the main characters or, go ahead and post it now. So something synchronous during my Zoom is what I was thinking to use it as. And then if you only had 3 boards, you could easily just be like, okay, screenshot that after it was finished, erase. Now I'm going to use it again as
Exactly. So here I had one pasted and now I'll paste another one. So you can see I have 2 boards now on one page. Yeah. So you can definitely put multiple boards on one page.
Would they go back to that same spot each time you needed them to open your Padlet?
You can put it on multiple pages. It doesn't have, you can embed the same one on 10 places. So yeah, you can embed the same Padlet in 5 different spaces in your classroom if you wanted. So like I would probably have I would probably make a Padlet that is just like I said, questions about assignments, and then just always use that one. Or if it's like a really in-depth assignment, maybe make a special one just for that. So, but yeah, it could basically be like an ongoing chat in your classroom since there isn't a chat feature in Canvas.
Where did you get the that option to save a PDF or save a, like what you were talking about, save a screenshot, so that once you were done, they were done posting? Where's that option?
So it's in the share.
Oh, okay.
And it's at the very bottom.
Okay.
Exporting it. Any other questions? Yeah, it's a really great tool for brainstorming, exchanging ideas. Little kids could just share pictures like you had them do, Andrea. So it's very, we're adaptable to different grade levels. It's a good tool.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me